My name is Melanie Glister, and this is a mock interview for class purposes. This is Sabrina Johnson, and I'll be interviewing her on today. Hello, how are you doing, Sabrina?
I'm doing okay.
Good, it's good to have you here today.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start the interview, and I'm going to ask you a few questions.
Okay.
Okay. The first thing I'd like to see it is Sabrina Johnson.
That's correct.
And your date of birth?
12/21/83.
12/21/83.
Correct.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about your present problems and situations and everything. The first question that I have for you is, please tell me, what is your principal concern that brings you to counseling today?
I'm under a high amount of stress. My husband recently left our family. He left me with 6 kids, ranging in age from 17 all the way to 4.
Okay.
And I've got a lot of stuff going on.
Okay. And you said 17 to 4. The oldest being 17.
Correct. And he's busy. So, I'm handling pretty well. But my kids are not so much. My younger kids really don't understand what's happening. It's just the reality that dad isn't home like he usually is. And for my older kids, there's a lot of aggression, a lot of anger between them, towards me, towards dad. And my oldest son has decided he's not going to come home. So he's been gone for a few days. I'm aware of where he is. I know that he's safe, but he needs to be home.
Okay. And so because of the separation with the husband, it's more aggression in the home.
That's right.
And that's causing a stressful situation.
Correct.
Okay. And with the younger kids,
they're still running around being kids. They ask a lot of questions, but based on the questions they're asking, it's more like fairy tale-ish to them. They just think dad's like away at work, or because dad was in the Navy, they're used to him being gone for small periods of time. So the reality that he's not coming back hasn't really settled in.
Okay.
And what's happening, they're not aware of, because I just haven't allowed them to be involved like that.
Okay. So I know that can be a lot of stress with your older kids and younger kids in a home with an absent father at the moment.
Yeah.
We're on a lot of stress there. Okay. Do you know when the situation or the stress or actually start occurring?
Well, yeah, the last couple of years I've been dealing with cheating allegations, not towards me, but knowing that my husband has been cheating and more or less starting to put my finger on it. I've been taking time to pay a lot more attention, and he's been unfaithful, very much so. He definitely hasn't communicated well. He hasn't been an upstanding citizen in this community at all. But I still find myself trying to protect his brand, but also protect his character, because he's still my husband. He's the father of our children. But it literally has just gotten really bad this summer, because we have our kids very active and busy in after school programs and sports and things like that. We were almost like ships passing. I would take them off to daycare, they would go to school, then he would get them for after school programs. And so we were really relying on each other to make those things happen. But now that we're in the summertime, our kids are home, which means we're home. And so it's just become more of a reality that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. When you say you're somewhere, you're really not there. And it's recently come up that there's a possible child on the way. And it's not a child of ours. It's a child that belongs to
outside
him.
Child. And that's causing even more stress.
No, it's causing anger. It's causing anger. It's causing frustration. It's causing, volatile physical situations in our home.
Okay. Excuse me. Could you tell me about other stressful situations you feel like you're experiencing?
Well, ultimately with my kids, just not being able to clearly talk to them about what's happening. I know that they're impacted by the separation of dad and I, because dad and I have been in their lives all their lives. For my older kids, just being able to have the right level of conversation with each of them has been a stressor for me, because one of the things that I do is I work with kids. So to have all that I have within my tool belt to help others go through situations and not feel like I'm equipped to have the conversation with my
Right.
kids. And the reality of it is to not want to be here with my family, to not have ever seen this happen is stressful to me. Um, and then also just the ownership of it. Like I feel hopeless. I feel like there may have been something that I could have done that I didn't do. I feel like maybe there's something that was happening that I should have addressed that I didn't address. Being a busy entrepreneur, I feel like there may have been times where I wasn't there and I should have been there.
So it's more like taking the blame for the
Yeah.
situation.
Well, I totally blame him for his
Okay.
behavior and his
Okay.
actions, but I do assume some of the responsibility of just, is there anything that I could have done better?
Mhm.
Is there anything that I could have done or said or done to prevent it from being where it is right now? You know, even with some of the women over the years, it's been like, oh, well, I didn't know he was married. Well, a part of that is he and I aren't often out together. We do
Right.
things as a family, but I'm busy working, he's busy working, and then our kids are like our binding time together. So if it wasn't something with our kids, it wasn't just he and I, and maybe that would have prevented some of the women from feeling like he was a single bachelor because they would have seen me with him.
Okay.
Mhm.
Making yourself more present in the
Mhm.
relationship.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So let me go ahead and switch gears just a little bit. Are you okay?
Mhm.
Okay. We're going to talk about chemical dependency history.
Mhm.
And my first question that I actually have: have you ever been hospitalized for mental or emotional condition? If so, when, where, and how?
Um, so like I said, we've been dealing with the infidelity in the marriage for a couple of years now.
Mhm.
Um, but in this year, the 2019 year has been the just epitome of I can't take it anymore.
Yes.
Around April was when I found out about this child that's coming about, and I slipped off into a depression,
Mhm.
not knowing that I was depressed, but I wasn't eating, I wasn't resting well, and I actually fell out. I passed out at work.
Dehydration.
Yeah, I passed out at work and ended up hurting my shoulder, and so with all of that, my doctors actually prescribed me Tylenol 3
Okay.
and Narcos, which I don't take them unless I absolutely have to. One, because they make me sleep.
Is that the antidepressant?
So it's more of an anti-inflammatory, but then there's
Okay.
also a painkiller that has, what do you want to say? It's something that can cause you to become addicted. It's highly addictive.
Okay.
So I try not to take it at all. But if I'm in excruciating pain, then I go ahead and take it and then settle in for the night because I'm not able to drive once I take that.
Okay. Okay.
But I will say, for me, it's been a matter of just trying to take care of myself and not allow myself to slip off into a depression, not allow myself to slip off into a situation where I have to rely on something other than my prayers.
Not to feel hopeless.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any previous treatment for alcohol or a drug dependency?
So my family alcoholism runs
Okay.
very, very wide. And I've attempted over the years I shouldn't say attempted. I've been successful with being a social drinker, just kind of drinking when I go out, maybe for dinner or something of that nature. But recently, with all that's happening, I do find myself drinking daily.
With all the
Yeah, with all the
stresses.
stress, I find myself drinking daily just to sleep, just to cope. It's something that allows me to relax and sleep and rest, but also just kind of numb the pain for a little bit.
Yeah.
Hmm.
More of a dependency.
Yeah.
So, any drug treatments or drug abuse or anything like that?
No.
Okay. And I'm gonna ask you a little bit about your medical history.
Okay.
Do you have any allergies?
No.
No allergies. Current medications other than the
Tylenol 3. No.
no supplements.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Do you have any major illness like diabetes, high blood pressure, migraines, or anything like that?
Mm-mm. Just fat. So
Not bad.
high blood pressure and diabetes do run in my family. So I've just been careful over the years to have a decent diet
Right.
and to eat properly, but to also go and see my doctor regularly. Now, my most recent checkup, my doctor has said that I'm morbidly obese. So
Mhm.
I've got to really watch how I'm eating, what I'm eating, and just making sure that I'm actually eating.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
with all that I'm dealing with, the level of stress, the hopelessness, the helplessness, but even the embarrassment, that's something I really haven't owned until
Yeah.
just now. I'm really embarrassed.
Embarrassed more than anything.
Yeah, I'm really embarrassed.
How could?
Embarrassed for my children, embarrassed that I may not have seen what was right in my face a while ago. Um, but this too shall pass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay, we're going to talk about your social history
Mhm.
and your education. Could you please elaborate on that for me?
Sure. I hold 2 degrees, a bachelor's in education and a master's in business. I also do some consulting work on the side, and I'm an entrepreneur. I run a few small
Okay.
businesses. So I stay busy.
That's something to be extremely proud of.
Yeah,
Yeah. Are you okay?
I am. I am. I just wonder if, sometimes me staying so busy is what caused me to not be as aware as I should have been. And so, like we said before, some of it is blaming myself.
Blaming
I
yourself.
blame myself for some of those situations being as dire and deep as they are, because maybe if it was more of a surface, we could still be together working things through. But
Working
because things
out
have,
together
right,
as
because,
opposed
yeah,
apart.
yeah. But at this point, I can't trust him, and I don't respect him. That's the big thing. And when I don't respect a person, it's best they stay away from me. Yeah.
So, military help. You ever served in the military?
I have not, but he's a Navy man.
Oh, okay. So he's in the military.
He's Navy Reserve.
Oh, reserve. Okay. And religion. Could you tell me a little bit about your religion and your beliefs and your values?
So I definitely, I'm Baptist by faith. I was baptized at the age of 4, and then again at 10 by choice. That's when I really got to know God for myself and caught the Holy Ghost. Um, Deeply rooted in my faith. We read our Bibles faithfully. We pray day in and day out as a family. And that's really what's keeping me together at this point, because there's so much that's happened, and there's so much that I've just dealt with, and there's so many times that I've forgiven and or just turned the other cheek, or just tried to be as understanding as possible. That it's my faith that keeps me grounded.
Try to be the bigger person.
Yeah, well, I try and see beyond the situation, because we're all human, and I haven't been perfect by a long shot. But I do know that if I were to try and compare apples to oranges, they don't even compare.
Right.
The mistakes that I have made along in our marriage over time have not been things that have almost caused it to haunt our success in life. With this new child coming, yes, every baby is a blessing, but the situation is so just
That's one of the
horrible.
things that really, really touches you.
It touches me
tell.
in so many ways. One, because you lied and told me you weren't even bothering with this chick.
Yes.
You told me that you didn't even know who she was. And now all of a sudden, not only is she relevant, but there's a child. And as much as I want to not ever think about dealing with her, she's possibly carrying a sibling to my children. I would never be the reason that my children don't know their sibling.
Exactly.
That child is innocent. So I'm steadily having to make it work when you've been wrong. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it.
Trying to mend everything together and trying to
carry it all. Trying to carry it all and be as forgiven as possible, because while you forgive, you don't forget. It's hard for me to want to be that close to you and want to be connected and want to be intimate with you, knowing you out here just passing it out like sausages.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, I don't trust you. And so, when I don't trust a person, and you've taken us, not just me.
That has taken a toll on you.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's taken a toll on me as the mother and as your wife, but it's taken a toll on our kids. Yeah. And there's no telling at this point what's to come, because, like our 17-year-old, he has so much to say. And he's speaking hurt. And so how do you address a child that's that hurt, that's that angry? And he's hurt and he's angry, not just at the situation, but he's almost feeling like he's got to pick sides.
Mm.
And I keep reminding him, son, you're entitled to your feelings. It's your behavior that's causing you to be in trouble.
Right.
You're entitled to be upset because you do understand and you're aware of some things that are not necessarily right, but it's not your position to judge. You're still a child.
Right.
And so still supporting him, and as much as I want to say, yeah, your dad is this, I can't do that. Because I don't want my son to ever feel like the part of him that is making him who he is as a strong black man in this society is something he has to be embarrassed about.
Exactly.
Something he has to feel is wrong with him. It's not wrong with you. Your dad has just made some choices in life, just like mom has. But keeping him grounded in knowing that what he's experienced is just a phase.
Exactly.
And we're going through it. We're not going to stay in it.
Not going to get past it.
Yeah.
Together.
Yeah. My pastor always preaches that, you know, life is a series of situations and trials and tribulations, but you always speak that you're passing through. You're never in it, you're passing through, which is movement.
Yeah.
And so that's how I stay focused and stay rooted, is just knowing that I'm going through something. My concern is just what's on the other side.
Yeah.
But what I do know is whatever's on the other side, he has my hand. He has his hand on it, and he has my hand in his hand.
Yeah.
As I get there.
As it carries.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would like you to know that I really appreciate your time and you coming and doing this interview with me.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, I know that you're going to get past the other side. And as I was stating earlier on, you have several accomplishments that you've already accomplished, and what we've spoken about today. Well, what we'll do, we'll continue to work on it, and we'll get past it. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to say before we end it?
No, just beyond the fact that I'm a pretty private person. You know, I'm a very private person. In this environment, you've made it very comfortable. I feel better now than I did when I came in. I'm just excited for the next steps.
Sounds good. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you have a good day.
You too.